Hello everyone, today we'll be reacting to Kelden's latest Tesla video. Bit late on the reaction, my fault, but Tesla FSD v12, another continuation to series, hunting for parking spots.
Hey guys, welcome back to another FSD video. Today we'll be testing out version 12.3.6 and a new setup. And I accidentally zoomed in. Oops, I'll fix it in a second. Yeah, so I'm going on a quick 20-minute drive to a ramen restaurant in this video. And right now what you're seeing is 20 times speed. We sort of had to...
I really like the editing with the zoomed in iPad.
City Street, nice. And then we got on the highway. And sort of this is where we're at. And we actually hit a weird stop here where the truck in front of us is basically it's like a service truck that's helping the other car on the other lane. So is flashing lights on. We don't go around it, even though it is green.
Wow,
and the cars behind me are actually going around.
Not a good look.
The FSD is trying to turn right and actually moves forward a little bit. I gave it like a solid 10-15 seconds before I felt way too awkward in this situation. So I went ahead and had an intervention there to get around the truck.
Situation. I wouldn't want to.
And so that was the first and only intervention of this whole 20-minute drive. In that situation, the car was actually trying to get around at some point, and the truck actually started moving right when I went around it. So it wasn't a critical intervention, but it was an intervention nonetheless. Now here we get to our location already. So we're at the ramen place, and it actually turns into the parking lot, almost like it's looking for a parking spot. And it actually goes to a complete stop here next to a parking spot as if it wants to start auto parking. And you can see I give it like a solid 10 seconds, sort of at 0 miles per hour until I'm like, okay, fine. We'll disengage, we'll start auto park.
I never knew you could just tap on the spot.
I'm still not the one driving. Nice. So, and Elon did note that this was coming, where you're connecting the stacks between kind of getting to the navigated spot and auto park. And you can see right here, it's backing into its spot. But yeah, that's pretty much the video. I was trying out a new setup. The angle is a little weird, which is why I sort of made this video really fast.
I actually went to the car a few days ago.
I'm
it's a pretty nifty setup, really creative setup.
I a better angle.
I really rate it.
Let me know what you think about this style.
Very unbothersome to the very unbothersome to the rest of the viewers, but to the rest of the passengers. But yeah, pretty sick. We'll go to the next videos. Sure, it's FSD's safe for the bus.
Welcome back to another FSD.
I don't know how it's safer than the bus, but sure, let's see if it's safer than the bus.
Video today, we'll be doing another drive on the v12.3.6
the post ramen.
So I updated my camera mount a little bit. I used a different
the update is awesome. I was in the car with the updated one like a few days ago. Not in the video. Hopefully in a future video.
Let me know if you like this new type of format.
I rate the setup.
Now, the first intersection where I get to, there are cars coming from both sides, and I need to turn left here. It waits, it peaks, and it goes ahead with that. So no problem there at all. It turns a little bit into the lane on the right, but nicely goes into the left turn lane immediately. And there's some pretty interesting things that end up happening in this video.
Super shy.
On this drive. We go both ways of this drive, so you'll be able to see it on both directions. But there's even a part in the video where I would even say FSD is more safe than a regular human driver or a bus driver in this case.
Maybe. I don't know.
So we're gonna quickly go up to the roundabout here. There is a car, if you saw on the right, it's a white car, but it's on the lane on the left. It's not in my lane, so I don't technically need a yield. It does so safely, unnecessarily so, but it's all right in my opinion.
Montage.
Now we're coming up to a left turn here. It is a green light, so no need to deal with a flashing yellow or anything. It's a pretty normal left turn, but it turns into a pretty narrow-ish road that has a lot of lines going on, but does perfectly and stays on the left lane like it should, unlike the red car in front of us. And the road is pretty curvy in front, but handles that with no issues at all. Now, right here is a pretty cool interaction. You can see on the ground there are white dotted lines that the car is actually driving over. It's respecting the yellow dotted lines on the left side as well as the other cars on the other side. But I've actually driven this road with autopilot before, and it actually respected the white line, so it was driving into the opposite lane. So really great to see that it's not doing that, especially since their car is over there, and kind of picking what was best for that situation. Now here we're coming up to a flashing yellow. There are a lot of cars coming through here, so there isn't really opportunity to left turn yet until this car, and it quickly accelerates and does this left turn beautifully. It basically picks when I would have turned left myself, so no problem there at all. Now this next interaction is pretty funny. You can see this white van is kind of slow, so what FSD decides to do is it decides to change lanes to go faster, even though it's not the left lane. And it tries to get around it, I think, but it doesn't, because our lane actually starts to slow down. And the van actually
that's the worst feeling in the world. You try to overtake someone.
So he got kind of mad.
And destroyed.
And ends up actually changing lanes to the left again in an attempt to go faster, I think. But we're turning right, so there's no, like, we're turning right soon, so I don't know why it changed lanes to the left. Now something interesting about this road is that the HOV lane is on the right side. The carpool lane is on the right side. And so that's gonna be more relevant later in the video. But as you can see right here, it's like, oh crap, I should just be in the middle lane. And it changes back to the middle lane. And actually it changes right when I say, like, yeah, that was a fail, like, lane change. We should just go back. And it decides to go back. So kind of same page, maybe like a step behind what I was thinking, but same page. Now coming up here is a right turn, and something interesting is, like, it's the HOV lane on the right, so you're not technically supposed to be there. So right here I'm like pretty concerned that it's not going to change lanes because it's trying to respect the HOV lane, and I haven't turned on like the HOV navigation. So I'm a little
hopefully
worried
that's not extra
with the solid
add-on
white line and the HOV lane that it's not going to turn right properly here. But I sort of let it run its course, and we still have definitely some leeway here. And as I let it go, and look at that, it decides to go to the right lane to ready up the right turn. So it does that perfectly. Actually, you see the dotted lines over there. I think that's when you're supposed to technically be switching to the right lane. I don't know. I'm no expert of the law, but I think that was completely fine. So upcoming here, we have another roundabout. This roundabout has actually been a struggle for me as a human driver. It's a very tight turn. And you can see by the camera just not being able to handle that turn. But FSD does totally fine there and makes the turn perfectly. Now here is the left turn lane. We actually are entering the parking lot right after this left turn. So ideally we turn into the right turn lane. And as the light turns green, you can see that FSD takes this opportunity to indeed get on the right lane, following the guy in front of us. I think they're also going to the parking lot. So go ahead and turn right into this parking lot. Now, this right turn was way too big. Whoa, really far. Like I'm basically 80% into the opposite lane, which is not what you want to see.
That's not better than a human.
Perhaps it's an overcompensation for all the problems that FSD had before, where it was getting the turns were too tight, but that turn was way too wide, and I was all the way to the other lane. And that's not the first time I've seen it like turn too wide, but that one was very wide. Thankfully, there weren't any cars across. And you can see here that the car stops. It stops for these pedestrians. That pedestrian actually waved at me saying thank you. And I'm
waving at the autopilot.
I'm not driving.
Like the FSD.
And it's at this point I realize that the car is not going to move anymore. It just stopped there. So I drove to a close by parking spot and went ahead and started auto park.
Oh.
And with auto park engaged, obviously I couldn't do the slanted parking spots. Those aren't supported yet. So I have to drive all the way here for
not supported. That
ones.
Oh.
And what goes ahead and auto parks.
Weird.
Auto park again.
I don't know anything about AI or coding, but
70% of normal human.
Damn.
But you can see right here that it actually stops to go forward and turn left. And I found that kind of interesting because it's like you could have just kept going, no problem. But I think I watched the one of AI driver's videos, and I think it's like restricted to like the rectangular box that it's set for itself. So like those were one of the times where it's like
might be tough in tighter situations, like,
but it sort of
like
has to follow that rule.
If there's
so it was kind of an
if there's barely any space on the outside and you have to intersect.
Anyways, we're back now with
tough,
Cake on the right side. Don't get distracted by that.
Damn,
but
Cake.
We're coming out of the parking lot. So there's actually a car on the left side here that was poking forward, but FSD kind of went ahead.
Ooh.
And also here didn't let the guy turn left. It kind of looked like it was going to a little bit, but it decided not to. So a little bit aggressive in the parking lot, but
yeah, gotta get out as soon as possible.
What I wouldn't have done. Those are actually things I would have done, but probably I don't think you're supposed to do. And right here, it takes that right and aggressively gets to the left lane right away. I've missed this left lane turn many times, but it does a great job there, waiting for two cars to go through and then getting to that lane right away. Now we're hit with another flashing yellow, and you're gonna see a lot of cars coming up. So there isn't really an opportunity here. And you see the car kind of pushing forward a little bit, try to get in there. So when the last car kind of comes through, you see technically it could have gone through there. Would have been nice, but
safe.
The next opportunity, which is right there, immediately takes off, which I think is completely fine. I would have probably taken the previous one, but I think 60-70% of drivers would have just taken the one that it did. Now, something interesting that about the HOV, which I mentioned earlier, was that I'm gonna go ahead and try to bring it to the HOV lane. Because the HOV lane is on the right side, we are a carpool, so we are allowed to be on this lane. So I go ahead and have it change to this lane on the right.
Go faster than other cars.
So there shouldn't be a reason.
The thing I hate with HOV lanes is that you kind of want to go fast on that.
Right there, that it changes back by itself.
People don't go that fast on it. So like, bro, why are you on an HOV lane if you're just
like, what am I doing here? And then like
chilling.
Seconds later, decide to go back to the middle lane. So that was a pretty interesting interaction. I hope in the future it can automatically support HOV depending on the interior cabin.
Yeah.
Oh, now right here is the clickbait of the video, but not really clickbait. You can see on the bus on the right,
clickbait.
The light is about to turn red. It turns yellow right here. And then the car stops, which is awesome. I didn't think it would stop.
Whoa! The bus is being trashed. Whoa! Oh yeah, that's not clickbait. Bus is being trashy on
crosswalk, and you can see me clapping because I'm just like, I can't believe FSD stopped for that. Like I didn't think it would make it. I was even more surprised that bus just went through with that.
That bus is disrespectful.
So
disrespectful.
Yeah, like, AI 1, humans 0. I don't know, like. That does not,
you gotta count the underscores for humans in the for the rest of the video.
Car than that bus right there.
You can't take this one example.
All right, so right here it changes to the right lane. You can see a car poking out. I freaked out a little bit, but the car was fine. It slowed down just a little bit and then sped back up. Interesting thing, it's on the HOV lane right now. Probably for the right turn later, like right here, but it shouldn't have been in the HOV lane that whole time if it was just me in the car. I don't think it was that smart to know that there are two people in the car.
Well, it should know there's two people in the car actually, based on the cameras and the weight.
For that first car to go through, and then we go through.
I wonder if they really track it though.
Probably a beat slower than
I know they have auto heating and the auto temperature.
Completely acceptable. You see that truck on the right side poking out. There's a lot of things going on this stretch.
Whoa,
and
scooter.
That guy right there coming out with the scooter. The car slows down a little bit, but doesn't go to a complete stop at all. It just slows down a little bit. I freaked out. The car freaked out. And then a second later it goes, oh, okay, he's just turning into the sidewalk, and then goes back to normal. Completely fine. Would have been exactly what I would have done. So really great job there, handling the weird truck coming, like the truck sticking out and the human sticking out. End up coming right here. You see there's some cones on the right side. There's a road closure. You see me hovering over the wheel.
Don't trust it.
I didn't actually think there was enough space here to squeeze both the other side and our side, but apparently there was. The lane lines weren't super clear,
cool.
So I freaked out a little bit, but the car handled it beautifully, so not a problem at all. Did I mention no interventions yet? This whole drive, there and back, this whole drive added together is around 50 minutes. Let's just call it an hour. No interventions yet.
Yeah.
All right. So it gets to the right lane here. I've had it go to the wrong lane before, but here it chose the right lane. Last time it chose the wrong lane, it just changed to the right lane in the last minute, which was completely fine as well. I mess up that lane every time. Every time I get to that road, I go, wait, am I in the right lane? To Eliza, like every time. So the car picked it the right lane this time, which is awesome. Now you're gonna see here, I have an upcoming roundabout. I need to go all the way to the left, which means I should be in the left lane, which the car picks correctly. Previously, it had chosen the incorrect lane before, like the right lane. I think once, but then the other like 3 or 4 times I've picked the roundabout, it's picked the correct lane. So gets to the left lane. There are a lot of cars in this roundabout, but you're gonna notice that there aren't any cars that have to yield for, so just goes ahead.
Easy, yeah.
Which, yes, do that.
Baby, you can do it.
And then doesn't get rattled by anything and just keeps going on this roundabout, no problem at all. So yeah, most of the end of this video is just gonna be straight line, right turn, right turn.
10 comments, yes sir.
Boom, we're here.
That's not
let's
docs.
go ahead and start the auto park.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna start auto parking this spot, and I'm still a little bit not super confident in auto park. And you can see the visualization actually doesn't go all the way, so I close it. I thought it'd be like the full screen. You can see right here I'm turning into there's a van behind me. If you see on the video, it's like poking into our parking spot, and actually candidly it's backing. It's not slowing down when it's backing, and as a human being I would have slowed down a little bit as I'm backing into this truck that is
it's intervention right now
to my parking spot. So I actually pressed the brake there because I don't feel super confident.
Come on.
I'm pretty sure it would have done just fine. I just got a little nervous.
All right.
But yeah, that was our drive. 50
pretty
minutes.
Pretty sick.
No intervention.
50 minutes.
Other than
that's a lot of time.
Auto park at
that's
the end, which I think
pretty long way.
Okay, still.
Hashtag suburbs.
And a lot of very interesting interactions, especially safety-wise. I think the car did a great job safety-wise.
Pretty solid. Pretty solid. I guess I'd have to say myself.
I would say today was safer than humans. I would say public transit, maybe. I don't know.
Nah.
All right. Let me know if you like this style video.
Yeah, solid content. Yeah.
Let me know in the comments.
Still probably won't
what kind of videos you
trust
want to
it
watch.
as much as myself.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's a pretty hype feature. Yeah, hype.